All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another How to Furry Art live stream. Sorry, I was a bit late. I still needed to uh, figure a few things out and get a few things set up. Hello, Nelius. Hello, everybody else. Yeah, so it's been a while since last time that I've done this, but I did have some thoughts about, how to deal with criticism and stuff like that. It kind of popped into my head these last few days, and so I figured I might just dive right in and tackle the subject, even though it's a big one to tackle. So for everybody who wants to get started in a creative hobby, it doesn't necessarily have to be art. Um, you kind of have to deal with people that are critical of your work, or just in general are critical of things other people do. And I struggled with that for a long time, and so I figured maybe share a few things that I've learned over the years, maybe talk about some experiences I made, and then also we're gonna go and dig into the meat of things with like really weird and strange comments that I've received over the years, and I'll have lots to tell about that. Um, so yeah, I think we're gonna start off with a quote I wrote down, because I cannot show the submission that it's posted on for obvious reasons. All right, let me just show my desktop here real quick. There we go. All right. Yes, this is a comment that I've received on my art once a few years ago, and it says, "Everyone is the same size, everyone has the same face, everyone has marble abs. This artist's world is a terrifying universe where every individual is a clone." And that message alone, like, really, um, yeah, it resonated with me on a level that I had not experienced before because uh, there was this um, point where I realized I could like shrug off a lot of critical comments and a lot of negativity, but this one just like blew it out of the water in terms of how much like it hit my own self-confidence to a certain degree. Um, and like looking at it now, it's kind of silly. Um, but I mean, if anything, like what you'll probably realize is that everybody's a critic. It's not a saying for nothing. Um, the internet is full of people who, have so much to say and critique about movies, series, video games, music, etc. Like there's so many people that are just make a living, basically criticizing other people's work. It's not that everything is unjustified, not at all. It's just that you kind of have to put yourself in a position where suddenly you're on the receiving end of that, and then it doesn't feel as nice anymore. And I think a lot of people just have never really, risked that much to kind of be put in a spotlight where they are criticized, so they cannot necessarily empathize what it's like, when you're receiving comments like these. Um, so eventually, and I think this is true for every kind of like artistic or creative media. Um, oh, everybody, I didn't look at the chat right now. Sorry. How do you draw so good? Well, just practice, really. I mean, I've been doing this since 2006 now, and yeah, a long time has gone by, and where I learned and failed over and over again, and eventually I got better. And um, it's really just a matter of learning and failing and repeating essentially. And that's the thing that a lot of people sort of miss, or just don't think about, is that a good artist, someone who is not content with just doing the same thing over and over again, which this person is criticizing me here, but we'll get to that. Um, an artist or creative person that is striving to get better will be their own harshest critic always. And you'll come across like old works and look at them again and go like, oh, that just looks really bad. I wish I could have gone back and changed that. um this one instance, I thought it was a nice picture at the time, but Jesus, look at that forehead. It's like way too large. But and it's still a neat picture. It's okay. It's not the worst. But if you go through my gallery like one by one and go to the early years, you'll see a lot of stuff that looks really rough nowadays. Um, favorite drawing? Oof, that's tough. I I would probably say the playtime one is definitely up there. I mean, you've just seen it on my loading screen, but that was just a picture that came out just the way I wanted. I wouldn't say if it's like my all-time favorite drawing, but I've got like almost over 1,600 pictures in my gallery now, so picking a favorite is kind of difficult. Thank you so much, Claire Torres, for the subscription. And thank you for the kind words, of course. I appreciate that, everybody. So, yeah, in terms of like criticism and coming back to this, uh, what I essentially learned, by just pondering and trying to overcome this, this pit that this person threw me down after I read this. It's it doesn't really matter whatever anybody says, and of course it's easier said than done, but you always, when you receiving criticism for something that you've done, sorry, I keep bumping into the microphone, when you're receiving criticism for your own work, um you kind of have to regard what this person that is giving the criticism is like, because um I've the thing is, I always wanted to kind of like steer away from that line of thinking, but I've learned over the years that a lot of people who just are really negative and give like really punishing and really devastating criticism are themselves very frustrated in their lives, and are very lonely, depressed individuals a lot of times, and they just lash out against everybody who seems happier than they are. And so that's something that I really I had to find out for myself, and slowly work my way out of it. And as I said, like this really, it really threw me down a hole of depression. It really did, where I didn't feel like anything I do is worth a damn anymore. And nowadays I can laugh at it because it's like, yeah, so what? I just draw, big muscular characters. I'm not the only artist that does that. There are plenty of other artists who, do much less, different variety and stuff like that. So like, I like big muscles, what can I say? It's like, who else is gonna tell me no, right? If I want to draw a sexy line like that, then I'll fucking draw it. But yeah, so that was always like the tipping point where I felt like I really need to overcome it. And so one thing that I just really noticed when when you're dealing with criticism is you really need to know how to take it and from who to take it, basically. Because I've seen let's see, this is a problem. Yeah, me neither. Um, See, sometimes people will reach out to communities, on Reddit or on forums or wherever, and go like, okay, so I'm an artist. I want to be better at what I do. Please criticize my work and be honest. And I've seen that so many times, and it's always funny because when somebody says like, you tell me what's wrong with this? Can you tell me how to get better at this?" Instinctively they're always trying to find approval for their own work. So they want to be told like, no, there's nothing wrong with it. You're fine. You're great the way you are, you know. And of course, that's not the case with the internet. If you ask the internet, can you criticize me, then the internet will definitely oblige. And so I've seen a lot of times that, especially beginner artists are like kind of, really thrown into the deep end where people will just pick apart their works over and over again and will just really frustrate them. And eventually, a lot of these people will quit because it feels like it's not worth it. They just get too much criticism. So why even bother? Um, by the way, I'm glad you guys are having fun there, but could you stick to English if that's okay, just so I can read what you're saying. If you don't speak English, that's okay. Okay, then that's an issue. But yeah. So when I started out, and of course, you can't really see how like what kind of mistakes and how you're making mistakes sometimes. So when you're really a beginner and you're just not familiar with all the ins and outs of different artistic techniques, basically you're not trusting your own hands when you're drawing a picture. So what I always kind of resorted to, or what I learned to resort to, was I would kind of contact my friends and ask them for criticism. So we can look at this old picture here. Oh geez, this takes me back, because I always figured that asking strangers online is just not a good idea. When I ask my friends, at least I know they'll be honest and they want me to get better at what I do. And so when they criticize my work, they'll definitely try to tell it in a way where it's positive and like supportive, but at the same time they also will want to see me succeed. So I figure that if you start out and you don't know anything, you should always try to go to the people that are close to you, because even if they're not great at like responding in terms of like, oh, you could probably draw the shadows a little bit differently or draw this differently, a lot of people will know when something is off about a picture, or just generally something doesn't feel right. So they can probably still give you a good answer, even if they're not like professional art critics. So yeah, in that regard, I would always go to people close to you, people that you trust, and whose judgment you trust, to kind of help you out and get the first steps going, when you start out as an artist. And the second thing, what I kind of learned over the years was that when you get criticism that you're not happy with, um, the best thing is just to step away for a moment and maybe for a few hours, maybe even a day, and just like let it simmer in the back of your mind. Because I know a lot of criticism that in the past has made me really really mad, and like really just pissed me off, where I wanted to throw the same kind of insult into the other person's face, and kind of like tell them, oh, you're just jealous, you don't know anything, etc. But I always like, I stopped myself from engaging in an argument like that, because there's no point to it. As soon as you start getting into drama, then nobody wins essentially. And so instead, what I did, I would just close the browser tab, do something else, come back the next day, and be more reflective of what that person said. And I found that most of the times they were right, and I would see that I would need to change some things. And I think that's also really really important when it comes to dealing with criticism, is just knowing that you have to stay calm, respond in a rational manner, because when somebody is insulting you, that's on them. You didn't provoke that. that if you are becoming aggressive too, then nobody will come to your support because they see that you're also a person who just likes to get angry at people, and that's nothing that anybody wants to be like involved with. Thank you. Yeah, I just browsed it through old pictures of mine to sort of like um, you know give you guys something to show while I'm talking. If you have any questions about criticism and creative work or anything like that, feel free to let me know in the comments, and I'll try to answer it to my best knowledge. This was, by the way, a banner for Eurofurence in 2016, I think. I think. Yeah, I think 2016. And yeah, so when it comes to getting negative comments, all you can really do is try to measure how much you're going to respond to it. I feel that a lot of times not responding to an outright aggressive comment is the best course of action you can do. If it's really becoming a problem, then you can address it, but you should always sort of like learn to basically uh carefully adjust your own behavior when something is like becoming problematic, so you're not falling down the hole where somebody's baiting you into becoming aggressive and responding aggressively, and then it's all downhill from there. um a funny story about this picture, by the way. uh okay, this is actually a good example because it's not necessarily to do with criticism, but it has a funny backstory, that I was kind of in a position, that I was just explaining. So this was from, let me check, 2018, 19. All right, 2019, and this was for a contest. So I talked about art contests before, and if you don't remember what I said, it's okay. Contests suck. Never participate in any contests, just in general. And this is where what I've talked so far about kind of comes in, because when somebody hosts a contest, and we'll get to that later as well. I have something to show about that as well. um, a contest is always meant as a promotional device to promote something and to raise awareness of something for for the means of the person who hosts the contest. They're never doing that out of being a good person, out of the good for humanity. They always do contests with the clear idea in mind that somebody is going to promote their stuff for free. And companies do that all the time, where it's like, win a free something something and send us your Facebook video, and like you get a chance to win 10,000 bucks or something. And what they then do is they take all these videos that people made, cut them together to a commercial, and like boom, they have like a 30-second commercial for their product with like a fraction of effort and money invested into the work. And if they give the prize money to one winner, that's not a big deal. And so for this, this was for a contest that I think it was for Sona pins. So they have like um there's no link to it. It's okay. It's like little pins that you can buy, with like furry characters on it and stuff like that. And there's nothing wrong with them um in general, I think. It's just how this contest was handled is what got me on my nerves. Because um, the thing was, you produce a piece of art that has to do with Pride Month. That was the whole shtick of it. That was the whole idea. And then you just tag it with the show your pride keyword, and that's how you enter the contest. And at the end, I think one person gets like $100, the second person gets like $25, and so on and so forth. Um, and I figured there was like a lot of diversity when it came to tackling the topic, and so I didn't want to go with what I usually draw. So I didn't want to go with like the big, muscly, openly gay character, just shirtless, strutting around. And instead, I really poured a lot of my own emotions and my own experiences into this, and I drew this picture that was really heartfelt and sincere and um, uh, very relatable, I guess, in a way. So like I was never in a position where somebody came to me and told me, hey, it's okay that you're gay. There's nothing wrong with being gay. You're you. Just like be yourself. And I wish that somebody would have done that for me in the past. And so I kind of wanted to draw this in the sense of like Coach and I, being this person for somebody else, so that somebody could look at it and maybe feel uplifted and feel more accepting of themselves. And as I said, it was a lot of stuff that I put of myself in it, and I'm really proud of this picture still. I think it's a nice picture. Um, and now, what if I tell you that not only did this picture not win, it didn't even make the honorable mentions. And this is where I got really pissed off because because there were a lot of pictures that were shown in the gallery and were boosted and also of course won the contest and stuff like that. And I felt like I was not even considered, because what I found out later was that they kind of said, okay, this was meant to boost like some more unknown artists. And then of course I look at the stuff that wins, and it's just like skimpy dressed girls with big boobs, front and center. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like, this is obviously just going for the most tantalizing image possible. Like, you could have told me that in advance, and I would have produced something like that. Of course, I couldn't say anything about it. I couldn't go, mad at them because then I would have seemed petty. But it really hurt me because, as I said, I put a lot of myself in that, and then not even to make it into the honorable mentions. That kind of sucked. So yeah, that was the last time where I said I'm going to enter a contest, because contests are ever only to promote something, and they're never really about you know boosting or like boosting the confidence of the people that participate in them. I'm not going to go into more details. I would have something else to tell about what did make it into honorable mentions, but I can't show this on stream because it would be unfair to the artist. But yeah, so that was really what bothered me back then, and I'm over it now, of course. But yeah, so oh, thanks, Nick. Yes, I'll hydrate. Oh, oh shit, the Friends network is unreachable. Does that mean my stream is now gone? Can you guys still hear me? Or is that just Steam bugging out for some reason? Okay, okay, thank you. But yeah, so basically what it all boils down to, even though it's really easy and kind of a given, when you're doing any sort of creative work, be it writing, drawing, making music, whatever it is, always follow your own mindset and be yourself, and be confident in what you do, even if you're unsure, and even if you're not really knowing where something is going, and where you kind of are figuring stuff out and you change things, or you realize that eventually it's not as good as you hoped. It's your own journey, it's your own path that you sort of need to go, and nobody can tell you what to do, and nobody should tell you that you can't do this. um because if you have somebody that's telling you no, oftentimes it just means that that person, didn't take the chance to do something creative and just, likes to tear other people apart. What's the inspiration behind Coach Knight? There's really not a single source of inspiration. I guess it just all started out with me trying out a few things. Like I've drawn my persona a few different ways. You can see him here, as a sniper, and a lot of different ideas over the years. Um, but at some point, I just like put a cap on him, and I thought I liked that look, and then it slowly evolved into him like being being a coach at a school, and teaching the 18 plus classes. So it was always like, okay, these are like adults. It was not never into any like elementary school or something. It was always like they're consenting adults. I just want to make that clear. Um, and it sort of evolved into him because I kind of figured it would be fun to have like this really big and muscular, you know, daddy character that's also like really supportive and like really kind, and treats his students well. It's not like this kind of gruff coach that we're kind of used to. Oh, hey, also, it's good that you're here because I was just talking about how to deal with criticism. And so basically, I still like that animation. I gotta do an animation like that sometimes again. By the way, notice the little bulge throb. I don't know if that's showing up on the stream fine, but yeah. So yeah, it was just like this kind of character that I really like to draw, and then now it's kind of assimilated into my own persona. So where he's always Coach Knight, but sometimes he's more Coach Knight, during his free time. Sometimes, something else. So yeah, just playing around with it. You can see the bulge just fine. That's good. But yeah, so yeah, as I said, trust yourself and make your own mistakes, and you'll learn from that, and don't let anybody tell different. So now we're going to go into the fun part. I've prepared, as you can see, a bunch of messages that I've received over the years. And I always have something to tell about them. So we'll just dive in, and if you have any questions, like feel free to throw them in. I've sufficiently censored, as far as I know, all these messages. So in case you know this person, or in case you still dig around and find one of these people, I would ask you not to harass them in any way. It's kind of okay to for me to tell a few of these things, because I want to make sure that they're not treated badly or anything. So yeah, if you find them, or if there's like a name showing up that I forgot to censor, like please be civil about it, and just don't go after these people. The Extreme Dino guy is gonna make a cameo. Oh, actually, I didn't include him because like that was all over Twitter, of course. And I mean, it led to the pictures. We all witnessed the things unfolding. I didn't expect him to actually come back and respond to me, but that was on him. I'm not going to engage that person anymore. But yeah, all right. We're going to start off with one that is a little bit weird. So yeah, subject is prices. Hi, Dream. First of all, um, just a little information on the side here. I don't like it when people call me Dream. I know a lot of people do, but it's just go with Tiger or Knight or whatever. But Dream is not my favorite. Anyway, how are things? I wanted to know your prices again. Please forgive me. I lost my aunt this week, or last week. I forgot. And yeah, because the loss of a family member is something that you easily forget if it's a week or two. I mean, obviously. So this doesn't seem that bad on its own, right? I mean, it's a little weird, but yeah. Um, but this person, especially, I have a lot of history with that person. The thing is, they have sent me messages months and months again, like over the course of like 2 or 3 years, I think it was, where I would get the same kind of message where they would ask about my prices, and I would indulge them 3 or 4 or 5 times, maybe. Um, I think this was the last one that I didn't answer, and also this person was just trying to get free art, not from me because I shut them down initially, but they were trying to get free art constantly by, begging in the journals about stuff. And what this person has done, and sadly, there's nothing of it, of the evidence left to prove anymore because it's all been deleted. But what this person has done in their journals is like overuse a lie about all sorts of things in terms of um like like medical trouble or like people dying and stuff like that to get free art. The most recent example I saw was of a furry who had actually passed away, and that person claimed that they were friends with him and that they wanted to you know they wanted to say they were sad about the loss, and how much they were great friends and so on. It was all like very mopey, and of course it's understandable if a friend died. Of course you'll be sad and you want to vent, so that's fine. I doubt that they were friends, but I don't know in detail. But what really like completely made me lose sympathy for that person again was that in the comments, like, somebody expressed their condolences, and then that person replied with I wish somebody would draw something for me so I don't feel as sad, basically. And that was like, what the fuck? Like, no. Like, you're not allowed to use the passing of somebody to get free pictures. And this kind of not MMO, this kind of modus operandi is what this person has been doing for years. They lied about uh, losing, I think it was a leg. They lied about multiple of their family members dying. They lied about, I think, cancer at some point or something like that. So they would constantly lie about all sorts of things just to get free art. And yeah, Ragath, you basically got it. That's messed up. It really is. And you kind of like need to, when you're you know, being a furry artist, you kind of need to brace yourself for these people, because they will find creative ways to try and get free art. But we'll come to that later on. So yeah, that person is still out there. He's not banned, or I'm not sure what genre they are, but they're not banned because, as I said, like, all the evidence is gone now. But yeah. Oh, this was great too. Predictable. Amazing how people in FA have a bad habit of never responding 2 p.m. Good to know that you, like the menace, to do so too. And that was because I didn't respond for 10 minutes. Yeah, that was fun. So, not responding with 10 minutes is never responding to a DM. Um, Big red flag when you deal with people like that. Always be wary of those that jump to conclusions and be really condescending. I don't know if you know the Reddit r/choosing baggers. Um, let's see, choosing baggers. There we go. And it's basically a Reddit that like gathers stories about people that want something for free or want something done, and then they're not willing to pay for it, and they can be extremely entitled about all sorts of stuff. It's a really good Reddit, by the way. Yeah, like me, I'm firm on the price. Single moms on Facebook, you've ruined my children's Christmas. Um, so what I see on these interactions with people like that is that often people are very kind and courteous, and these people will just like be very demanding and condescending. So whenever somebody is being a dick to you, just don't talk to them anymore. Block them if they're being insistent. Just watch out for people who don't treat you nicely, because you don't have to deal with those people. How to out yourself as 7 times without saying 10 minutes? Is this like serious? Yes, I can give you free exposure to my X amount of followers. Yeah, exactly, pretty much that. Free exposure. Never do anything for exposure, because um, what these people will say is that I'm gonna give you a shout out on all of the stuff I do, and I have X amount of followers. They're not gonna give you a shout out. They're not, because they don't care about you. All they care about is themselves. And if somebody really is treating you like that, just run away and don't feel bad and don't feel petty about blocking people that rub you the wrong way. Um, it's your right. You don't have to deal with these people. Okay, this one is more included for for humor's sake. If you've seen my compilation of these on that I post on Twitter, you've seen this one before. I'll try not to wake Azure. Sex with penises. I said an astute observation. Can you draw me with you, tiger, and be naked? I said sorry, but no. Oh well, you lose a sexy dragon. Me with sexy hunk penis. I think I can live with that decision. Well, you are useless and you not have a big penis. I mean, how does he know? Yeah. And this is also a person that is still around, and I think he's doing the same thing still, where he'll just comment and like constantly try to find people who draw him for free, and he'll do stuff like nailed this. That's funny. He'll do stuff like say he's hosting a contest and that he needs artists to contribute um like contribute possible winnings or like prizes for his contest. So he needs an artist to that draws free requests to be a prize at his contest, bullshit like that. Of course it never goes anywhere, but some artists, I've seen some artists draw him still, and it's always sad when something like that is working, because there are so many nice people out there that don't get free art because they are not begging for it, and so you shouldn't reward people like that. He won several, yeah. Oh yeah, this is interesting. Birthday request. Hey, my birthday is in less than 7 days, and I'm wondering if you can do a comic for me as a gift. I have a story I want to turn into a comic, please. And that was one of the messages where I really started scratching my head, because um yeah, just because it's your birthday and you want me to draw an entire comic based on one of your story, do you know how much work that is? And so I kept getting messages like that where people said, yeah, it's my birthday coming up, can you draw something for me? I was really wondering why that was, until I realized that I had drawn quite a lot of pictures, for birthdays of my friends, as gifts. And so, a friend of mine told me that. I was like, maybe it's because you've drawn, like this one, you've drawn birthday gifts for friends, and they've seen you uploading these, and it says like birthday gift for somebody, and they just think, hey, my birthday is coming up, I might just ask him if he draws something for me. And I think that's why people started messaging like that, though it's kind of weird to assume that gotten a few pieces, all a very nice surprise, but nothing I've ever looked for. There's nothing wrong with free art. Like if somebody is offering free requests, that's totally legit, totally fine. But it's just when somebody is not, or is clearly a commission artist, then don't haggle, don't bother, don't harass them for free requests. Teach me that ways, master. Let's see. I sent you a note on FA with BFS mentality. Yeah, that's something I've learned that I hadn't heard before. And the term for that is parasocial. Um, and it's basically where people interpret like a relationship with somebody online as more than that person on the other end of that relationship. So let's say somebody comments on one of my pictures, says something nice, I say thank you, and they just immediately assume that through that interaction, that positive interaction, that now we're friends, and then they send me messages and like, oh, would you like to chat, and would you like to get to know each other, and so on and so forth. And it can go really wild in some instances where you just don't want to interact with anybody anymore because you worry that these people will crop up left and right. That's not a harness, it's a tank top. It's just yeah, a sleeveless shirt basically. All right, next one. Oh yeah, this is also same, not the same person, but the same energy. Hi there, my birthday is on April 7th, and I was wondering if you could do a drawing like gift. No. I'm happy to draw gifts for friends when I find the time, but yeah, don't ask for gift art, just like that. I mean, if you announce like, my birthday is in a week, can you draw me something? At least it's honest about it. And like if you announce it on Twitter and if nobody's responding to it, well, then that's just how it is. But yeah, don't try to get a free picture out of people just because it's your birthday. Oh boy, this one. So you might have seen this person before because he's kind of notorious. Definitely need to say the event. Bushel knows what I'm talking about. I was actually thinking about adding your notes as well. Oh, this guy also says I definitely need the ability to say no to a bit more firmly when people request free stories from me. Yeah, absolutely learn to say no. If it's something that it doesn't feel like it's something you want to do, you always have the right to say no. So this person said, want to just talk about internet charity. And this is a note that I think like half of FA has gotten to this day. Um, I've received a second one from him where it says like got a present for you, and it's just like a link to a charity website. So this person is clearly autistic or something because like all they do is they harass people for to join a charity or to donate to charity, and they kind of self-identify as an anthropomorphized charity or something. I don't really know. I've read like a whole long post about this guy, but it's really insane. Where at first you think like, okay, maybe he's just like really into charity and wanting other people to embrace that as well and give to charity. Like what's wrong with giving to charity, right? um but it kind of has a dark turn to it where I read that with people who try to have a conversation with that person, which is not easy, that if you um deny his request and say I can't give to charity, I don't have enough money, um or something like that, eventually then that person will just go, okay, then at least vote conservative. Yeah, and I've seen like a chat log with them, with somebody, that just went, "Why? Why would I vote conservative? Yeah, just please vote conservative." It's always his next line after the charity, and eventually, like it even leads to him being abusive if you deny him, and then he says like, "Yeah, fuck you too," and stuff like that. But I also heard like allegations, and I don't want to go down too deep in terms of like rumors, but I heard like allegations with like ways trying to gain, well, naked pictures from people that are minors, like 17, 16, and stuff like that. I can't verify that, so yeah, I don't want to shout the guy's name out, but if you see his message around somewhere, just be really wary about this person, uh, because like chances are you might have gotten a message from him at some point. Yeah, uh, not a very nice story. Thank you, Nellius. Oh, this one. Okay, you guys can read that for yourselves for a moment while I drink. You have been corrupted by fur faganism and infected yourself with yif. I miss the old you. And this, this is he him is this. Sorry, this is him telling a porn artist with like 10+ years of furry porn in the gallery that he misses the old me. Um, so yeah, I said like the old me. Did you not notice the 10+ years worth of furry porn that fills my gallery? Yeah, it was from a friend back then. Thank you. It's really cute. And then he goes on. There's a difference between well auditioned pictures focused on porn, filled with seductive behavior, tiny stories, romantic, beautiful atmospheres, and so on. Yiff. Yiff is like drugs, focused on as many as possible and as hard as possible. Explosive orgasms on and on again. Each time you need more, bigger, stronger, just to senselessly jerk off. Like an addiction up to a point where your brain is only bored anymore because you reached the maximum possible stimulation in this tunnel vision. I know that this picture I comment on is just an experiment to try out new things and to please you and your fans who like hyper, and it wouldn't bother me at all if came once in widely. But it describes somehow what bothers me about your whole change in style for a while now. You focus too much on excessively increasing the sexually alluring parts. Your characters lose person and become living sex toys. The environment loses atmosphere. Your art loses awe. It makes me a little sad, especially because you was the artist who convinced me to include some porn images of good artists to my otherwise clean list. I also miss the old you where you were still drawing lots of new dogs. I'm still doing that. I can't show it on stream, but I'm still doing that. I don't remember seeing this disease in the medical encyclopedia. That's really good, yeah. The editor side of me is in pain. But yeah, this is basically what I've seen a lot of people who say they have like genuine criticism do is they start out with an insult and then they'll try to double down on it and justify themselves by spinning this story of like, yeah, I was just making a point about X and I'm trying to explain. It's like, no, you started off with an insult. And what the fuck is the difference between GIF and porn? Like, surely there's like romantic porn and there's like hardcore balls to the wall, come exploding action. But like, you can like different things and not be a dick about it. So yeah, this conversation actually went on and on and on, but I'm gonna spare you the details because there's no point to it anymore. But yeah, it's what I said earlier. If somebody is trying to give you honest criticism, they can do it in a sensible and in a civil way. If they're not doing that, then you don't need to react to them. You don't need to, um, have any sort of conversation with that person, because at that point they've kind of disqualified themselves from the discussion as soon as they're insulting you. Here's my solution: they don't exist. Yeah, all that. Okay, next one. Oh, this was interesting. Hello. Thank you for inspiring me to become a furry artist. I really like your pool threesome commission for its contrast, yet I find radial shadows unrealistic as it require a very small and skin-close light to produce them, like the one on the purple scaly shoulder. I found the same thing in other drawings of other artists, one that had a glow light instead of shadow, but still on all edges of a form, the upper nose side. What do you think? This is just like, um, what? Like, okay, so I know you're trying to make a point here, but this is obviously coming from a person who has an empty gallery and who's never uploaded anything to FA, and who has deactivated their account. So um, I didn't engage that person at all because I was like not really sure what to say to them. It's like if you're criticizing somebody, for maybe using light and shadow wrong, um, then I guess just keep that in mind for yourself and try to do it better in your own pictures. But other than that, it just really threw me off because I just didn't know what to say to that. Like, what do you respond to that? You know, sorry, I just had to adjust my seating a bit. All right. Oh yeah, this one. This one is also nice. So you can see exactly what this person's shtick is. I love your art and would like a fan art of my character, but I see that not doing free fan arts and commissions, I have no money. I would like a commission, but I don't have to pay you, cuteness. I would like a commission, perp. I don't have money to pay you, so I don't think I know. I would like a commission, but I think you don't do it for free. Heh. Just don't do this. Like, there's not more to say. If you see this person, just block them. Um, yeah, if you're trying to get a free picture, this is not the way to go. And especially, this kind of like pity route is what a lot of people will resort to. It's like, oh, I don't have any money. I can't, pay my rent as it is. Well, that's not the artist problem. And if you cannot pay your rent, or if money is really that tight, then you don't need a furry porn picture. You need to focus on more essential things. So yeah, but I can understand the situation of not having enough money to pay an artist that charges $200 or more for a commission. I was there, myself, and I'm currently in a position where I cannot just spend $200 on a porn commission. I would like to, but I can't. I need to save my money, and I need to save it up for other expenditures that will come my way, other expenses. Sorry. And I'm content with that. I mean, of course, I can draw my own pictures, but it doesn't change the fact that there are still a lot of artists that I would like to commission someday. Um, but yeah, it's just if you really want to commission an artist, find out what they charge and try to save up. And that's all I can say. In a perfect world, if I didn't have to pay rent, well, not rent, I don't have to pay rent, but we live in a house, but um, I didn't have to pay for food and all that other stuff, then sure, I would do free commissions. I absolutely would. But sadly, I have to eat. I have to, live, and I need to charge money. And that's sadly how it is. How can I impress my supervisor if I can't show him some new furry artwork I got? Oh, this one. This one is great. Um, hashtag straight pride. Even though I didn't get beaten up, getting bullied, getting fired from job, getting kicked out of my parents' house, getting killed just for being straight, I want pride. Isn't that a nice sentiment? With Pride Month being just a month away. So I included this because this is a case of a person that will eagerly lash out at other people, and then of course be like that about their own lives. So this person got on my radar on Twitter because they basically tried to cancel and expose me. This was when I drew Pharaoh art in 2020, and there was like a minor shitstorm. Thankfully, it wasn't big, but I noticed that it was only on Twitter where people were losing their shit about it. And the thing is, this person was like, "Yeah, it's a crime to draw stuff like that. It's illegal." Which of course, it's not. You can draw anything you want. It's not a crime. Um, but then you go to their Twitter profile and you see that they're just a frustrated individual that, obviously is way too young to know what they're talking about. How did Autograd not flag any of this? I think we're not a native English speaker. I don't remember, but I think that could have been the case. But yeah, I like the open hypocrisy about nothing ever bad happened to me, but I still want to be part of the pride thing. All right. Okay, so this is the thing I can't show in detail. I would like to, but then we'll be here forever. Um, this is I can just show you the first one. I vote for no water sports. This was from a Patreon submission where I posted a water sports version. If you know my work, then you know I always include water sports versions as an optional version. There's always going to be a non-water sports version for those people who don't like it. This person, this one was surfing, yeah. This person did not bother to check the picture and instead just openly complained about that. And what was interesting about it was that it wasn't part of a vote or anything. It was a commission, as far as I know. And so, I said, there was a non-water sports version, and somebody else was sticking up for me, the one in blue here. And this went on and on and on, and I tried to, soften the waves in some degree. But then you come back, and it's like more and more and more and more. And eventually I just blocked the person who complained because they were just being a complete idiot about their own viewpoint. I said, if you don't like it, maybe don't criticize people for liking something you don't, and if you don't like it, you can cancel the pledge. And another always says you can make whatever you want, it's your art. I just don't understand how anyone can get aroused by that stuff. Well, it's not, you don't have to understand how they have so many kinks that people are into. It's just get just deal with it, get with the times. Yeah, but this was not fun to deal with. All right. Oh, another one, free art. Yeah. Coming back to this, hey, I know we don't really know each other very well yet, but I was hoping you could do a drawing for me and my friend, a free one. Other artists charge for their submissions, so I'm just making sure no one gets confused. I can't afford anything right now, but if you could draw mine and my friend's persona together, that would be really awesome if you, and we'd really appreciate it. Send a reply with your answer, please. Thank you for your time on reading this. Now, there's nothing inherently wrong with this. It's nice, it's courteous, and stuff like that. But one thing that I always wondered about is if these people really care about me as an artist, or if they're just sending out dozens of these to anybody, just seeing what will stick eventually. And so I've gotten quite jaded with these messages because I've become wary that these are just copy and paste messages, and we'll get to those later as well. So, even if somebody is nice about it, I would always kindly say no and move on, because you don't know what you're getting yourself into. Beware of the nice ones. So that's basically it. Yeah, this one is basically same thing. If you can't do it, it's okay. Love your art. Well, that's fine. Oh yeah, this was also. Oh right, this was interesting. Yeah. Hello, first off, let me just say you are a amazing artist, so I was hoping if you would be so kind as to do an art request for me. Okay, what I would love to see is one of your male characters receive a humiliating wedgie, so let me know if you would be into that, thanks. Okay, quite a specific request, alright, so I told him, well, I'm glad you enjoy my art, but I'm sorry I don't do art requests. I will open commissions soon though. If you really want your idea drawn, you could try get a spot then. Well, I'm not sure I want to pay for art, but thanks anyway. But feel free to keep my idea in storage if you change your mind. And this last part made me so freaking mad. That he was just like, yeah, just keep it for later. You can always draw my idea when you have the time. It's just so entitled that it just pissed me off. Oh, thanks, Kid Curtis. I'm not sure is Kid Curtis with us, but yeah, that's very kind of him. So yeah, this person. And now this is where we get into why I said beware of the nice ones. Dear Mr. Dreamer Nightmare, my name is blank. Unfortunately, I am not an artist. I am a musician and I am looking to get more character referees for my character. While browsing your page, I saw that under trades it says maybe. I was hoping you could do my character. I would trade a piece or two with you or whatever your feelings are. Have a favorite piano song you love, I can play for you. For some of my work, go here and you can see them all here. I was hoping you could do something like this for me. Please get back to me as soon as you can. And this is the person I fell for because I figured, to have a piece of music at my disposal whenever like this was a lot of years ago, more than 5 at this point. Um, so I figured, if I ever do animations or stuff like that, and I need a piece of music to accompany that, might not be a bad thing to have something like that. So I agreed to that, and I drew a picture for that person. And what ended up happening was that person got banned on FA because he took piano pieces from YouTube and uploaded them to his channel, claiming them as his. And that really blew my mind because I had not expected somebody to be that audacious and just evil, I guess. Well, not evil, but that crafty in scamming people on free art. So that was something I fell for, and that's something I'm really mad at. I was really mad at back then. Not so much nowadays, but yeah. So this is what I mean when I say like beware of the nice ones. You never know what you might end up with, especially when somebody is just like offering stuff for you. Oh right. Oh, this is also good when it comes to contests. This is from last year, I think, when I posted a Halloween picture. And I want to go through this one by one. As you all know, I draw a lot of gay porn, almost exclusively. And so just keep that in mind when we read through this. Happy Halloween. I see you can draw amazing werewolves and would ask, had you interest to join my Halloween contest on DeviantArt? The contest is about a human female slash vampire slash anime and manga character fighting or killing Halloween and fantasy monsters like werewolves, gnolls, and other were creatures. Already, this is like absolutely not what I do. Like, no way. Like, you didn't spend any moment at looking at my gallery to figure out if that's something I would draw. You must draw a female character and can choose between humans and this anthros. Only this non-human characters are allowed. Source comic line. And then it's just a whole list that I have no idea what they are. I guess they're character names, but with no reference whatsoever, I can't say who any of these are really. Squirrel Girl, Thorn, Tigra. Well, I guess that's Thundercats, but no, Tigress is Thundercats. Yeah, all right. So we're off to a great start. I don't know which any of these characters are, and I must draw at least a female character. All right. Okay, important info. Fetish artworks can't enter. Normal Halloween monsters versus female Caraxeter. Half naked mature is acceptable, also gore. Please no pornographic artwork. So again, like he didn't spend any moment looking at my stuff. And I like how it's like not, oh, draw a nice Halloween related picture for us, but no, you have to abide by the specific lines and the specific things that we want, but then you cannot draw anything that is in your wheelhouse. You can't draw anything porn related and stuff like that. The artwork must post it on DeviantArt. Prizes are, and then like a bunch of artists that offer artwork as their prizes. And then it says deadline is, oh, it was in 2020, never mind. Deadline is 7 November plus 2 days if that's possible. That was less than a week at that point. I know not much time to enter, but maybe you had a bit time, that would be fantastic. Here is in the contest are 2 type of fight option, active against monsters and passive with defeated dead knockout monsters. If you want to enter and want to draw werewolves or gnolls and you want to draw defeated werewolves, I would be ultra happy to see the tongue of the month and of the werewolves, and of course showed the werewolves hind paws feet. Oh, so you can like shove your fetishes down my throat, but I cannot do the same thing. Have a nice Halloween. Wish you an amazing day. Amazing day. If you can't enter but like to support this contest, you can share this journal on DeviantArt of Affinity to your artist friends. Price sponsoring is welcome. Yeah. So, yeah, this is basically what I said earlier about how contests always suck. But this has so many red flags that I don't even know where to start. Yeah, so basically just don't do stuff like that. Like, don't, even if you think there's a great prize waiting for you, it's like winning the lottery. Sure, somebody wins the lottery, but there are like millions of lottery players that don't win the lottery ever, you know. Oh right, this one. This one was also included in my. That's a lot of note in one note, yeah. In my Twitter video. Hello, I'd like your Flash novel game sketchbook, and some moments I hand joked. And look at the time, and then of course, I like your Flash novel game sketchbook. Some scenes make me kinda hot. And it's like within hours on 2 different websites. Like I can understand if your internet craps out, but then um yeah. So I just included this one for comedy's sake because I still don't know what this person was like, what their end goal was when they sent me all these messages. Like, what do you think is going to be the outcome of this? But I don't think they thought much about that as well. Uh, oh, right, this one was also good. Look, didn't you read the dislikes part of my FA profile? You know I hate water sports. Yeah, I got this with the water sports version, and I posted this on Twitter too, saying this is what I get for always providing an alternate version. Some furries have absolutely no social skills. Yeah, but not just furries, people in general. Um, so like, yeah, I have to check all my followers, interests before I post something. Sure. And this person had also had banned me, and their profile is also something. Things I do not tolerate: rudeness, being an asshole, trolling and spamming, and definitely name calling. Please respect me as I respect you. Thanks. Yeah, you didn't respect me, but also I'm a new member of anti-bullying. It's where I have to stand up and defend for the ones I love, especially my fur family. Likes heartbeats, kissing, cuddling, humans, furries, giving wedgies. Oh, it's a wedgie guy. Gaming, muscle growth, bondage, cock war. Then dislikes. I think I like how it goes like from kings, extreme kings, to politics, rushing role plays, farting, lying, and giving me the silent treatment, inactivity, name calling, and being impatient. And if any of those don't like and listening to the dislikes, they will be blocked, period. Yeah, Nail, that's pretty much. This random guy expected me to check his FA before I post art. Yeah. So he likes cock war, but if anybody likes something as disgusting as fingering or girls, clearly no female art, then they will be blocked. Absolutely. It's gonna be hard to block all the people who are inactive. Yeah, it's basically like, okay, you haven't chatted with me for 2 minutes, then I'm gonna block you. But yeah, like that person is just a whole mess. I've seen them around Twitter and other sites, and it's just stay away, stay far away. This one I included was not directed at me, but I saw this as an artist profile on E621, and it's titled "How to Scare Away Commissioners," because I I think that's basically what it sums it up. And that whole "if you ignore me" part is a big red flag. Yeah, absolutely. Just as a disclaimer, all of this is just for when I start posting and is a work in progress. The avatar post is temporary and will eventually be changed when another temporary avatar post replaces it for the mascot OC is final, or if the mascot OC is finalized. Okay, we didn't need to hear about that. Requesting for me to make any artwork of Scat, Model, Pony, Vomit, Fortnite, Avians, unless it's safe for work, non-pornographic fare as a background feature or a main feature, not safe for work, or gendered art of legendary Pokemon that isn't one or more of the 9 legendaries with the gender ratio and NSF, and then a bunch of Pokemon, NSFW or gender art where one of more of any mythical event Pokemon is involved. So this is all just like such rambling. Like, who is gonna care about that? Um, I'm considering wanting to be a do not post artist and only me friends I might make, character owners, others who collaborate with me, make art for me, receive art for me, commission art for me. Like, this is like this is insane. Like, if you want to commission somebody and this is like what you're faced with, eh, you're just gonna go and find somebody else. It's like when I see someone that has to put I'm a nice person at profile, 91% of the time they absolutely are not a nice person. Yeah, if somebody says of themselves they're a nice person and they have to put that in anywhere online, then they're definitely not a nice person. I got halfway through reading this, yeah. So this is just basically to show that if you are an artist or like do commissions, or you are a writer who does commissions, like, keep your rules simple. The things on with what you can always count on when it comes to people on the internet, people on the internet are lazy as fuck, and that includes me. So whenever you post something, make sure that it's as easily digestible and readable as possible. And also don't make people jump through too many hoops to get to where you want them to go. Like, if I say like, click here for free art, and let's say 100 people will click on that, and then I say, okay, in here you have to fill out this form and then click on this button, then I will already lose, let's say, half of the people, even though it's free art. I will already have lost a bunch of people just because they have to click twice and enter a bunch of stuff. So, if you ever have something where you want people to interact with, just make it very simple and very precise, and don't bother with all the possibles and all the um, events that might happen. Just deal with those as they come along. Night calling out people issues. This person's grammar. Chat. This person's grammar is killing me. Oh, believe me, this person's grammar is killing me too. Well, not this one. This is fine, but it's except the sentence structure is all messed up. But I am put off by bad grammar a lot. So if you really want somebody to listen to you, at least put some effort into it. Oh, this one was nice. You could probably do a really easy edit to get lioness instead of lion for that little bit of extra market share. It's like, yeah, sure. I'll just do male and female versions of all of my artwork, just for that extra market share. Um, this is it's not so bad in terms of what they're saying. I just found it really insulting, because it kind of makes it seem as this whole market aspect is the most important thing, and it's not. If you're only going by what everybody wants, sure, you'll have some success, but you'll lose your own individuality over it, and that's something that you should never do. Like, there's one thing that's selling out, if you have to, but you should always try to retain some of your integrity. even if you need the money, because people come to your work for you, for what they like about you, and not because it's marketable or easily accessible. Um, and if you start losing that, then you also lose your fans. It's that easy. Oh, thanks for the hydrate. I will do that. This is not so much about criticism. This is basically one thing that I wanted to address when it comes to social media, because I figure can't hurt to dive into that as well. So you can see this very um, yeah, verbose person that is just typing one letter into their response tweets over and over again. This leads me into something I've seen a lot when it comes to just in general furries on Twitter, or furries in the fandom, and that's people that really want to be part of a community, but all they do is just be extremely passive or non-engaging. So I've seen people, do this or just comment the same thing under a lot of pictures. And they kind of feel like they have to. I think I have another one lined up. Oh, right. Yeah. This one's also good. Good. This is a different person, by the way. Nice. Ah, nice. Ah, nice. Ah, 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 nice. Um, there are a few people that feel the need, like they need to comment on under a lot of pictures, and I see them constantly favoriting, constantly commenting, responding, retweeting, and they never have anything to say though. And basically, that's something that I wanted to address for a while, because if you want people to interact with you and if you want to be part of a community, you need to give back to that community in the sense of like being a full individual, not being this passive person that just has nothing to say. um because sometimes people will complain that there are all these great artists and they have their friends, and I will never be friends with anybody because nobody likes me, and etc. But then I go to their profile, and immediately, and I think a lot of people of you have seen this, immediately they will have on their Twitter this bot that says like 3 people followed me, 2 people unfollowed me. It's like if your Twitter profile is filled with nothing that is engaging and with negativity and stuff like that, then of course people will steer clear of that. I wouldn't want to follow somebody who just like spams how many followers he has received in the last couple of days into my timeline. I don't want to see that. Nobody wants to see that. So with that in mind, I personally like seeing different kinds of comments under my pictures, and I know that I post every something a new picture every 3 days or something like that. And so I know that nobody and not everybody can say something substantial about every piece of artwork I post, and I wouldn't demand that at all. God, is absolutely not. Uh, yep, I know one particular individual like that. They are incredibly toxic in their tweets and how they interact with others. They also tweet about how lonely they are. Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. People will always lash out, like these people will always lash out against others and then wonder why they're lonely and not realize, that they're the problem. Um, so if somebody just types something like "oh hot," "oh my god, I like it," that's fine. I appreciate it. I really do. But if you feel like you've said the same thing under like the fifth or sixth picture, maybe just step back. And if you don't have anything to say, then you don't need to say anything. You don't need to feel obligated to comment under every picture. Hello, Byler X. Welcome. So, yeah. Oh, this is interesting. This is also an individual that I have interacted a lot with in the past, and that took me a while to realize that I didn't want to interact with them anymore. So the backstory for um, this was a picture where my persona was submissive. After I've put him in mostly dominant positions before, and that person had not commented on any of those, but that one picture where he's submissive, he immediately commented on. Try not to say anything if I don't feel like what I have to say is worth anything. Um, that is kind of a bleak perspective to have. Like, um, I think especially newcomer artists will always appreciate if you say something nice about their work. So if you see a picture that just has barely any comments under it, feel free to say something that, oh, that's nice, I like it, or try to find something that appeals to you particularly. If you like the lighting or the character or something like that. If there's anything that you can point out that you really like, I think a lot of people are appreciating that. Uh, I hardly ever tweet or comment, but I overuse the like button. That's fine. I've seen some people basically like every tweet they come across. I try to be a bit more selective, just because when I browse my own likes, I don't get drowned by all the random stuff I like. I'm bad with words, so I usually just say huff, but if I say that it means I really like the art, yeah, that's absolutely fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Um, I oftentimes don't know what to respond to that, but if it means you like the artwork, then I get that from that comment, so it's okay. And a retweet bot been trying to do a lot less. I mean, a lot of people retweet stuff, but we wouldn't have Twitter if nobody retweeted anything. There's nothing wrong with that. If you don't have anything to share, then yeah, it's fine. As I said, don't feel obligated to say something. And I need to hydrate again. Thank you. So I was a bit ticked off by that person, I'll admit. So you're basically just ignoring the last submission where he's not submissive. And that person says that was him in denial. That's why it's time two doms are taking care of his real need to make him feel better, it seems. Hey. I really don't like the hey at the end. No, he wasn't in denial. He just likes to dominate as much as be submissive. I just don't like my character to be put in one corner. I'm a switch. My persona is a switch. So if somebody's trying to paint me as something I'm not, it just it kind of pisses me off. And they said, then why dominate one to be then gagged, blindfolded, tied up by two? Seems like to me still that he prefers to be dominated if you do the math, lols. And I said, trust me, I know my character better than you do. Maybe, but I read between the lines, hehe. And I said, oh, then you must have misread something. And Lord, sure, let's pretend that, hehe. And that sort of like arrogance was just what really pissed me off and that I really didn't like. Which is the best of both worlds, yeah, basically. And so yeah, eventually that was like the last straw to where I mulled it over in my head, and eventually I blocked that person because I have had these interactions with that person a lot where they were just putting me down and putting themselves up, by insulting me like in a backhanded sort of way. Yeah, sometimes it takes a while, but if you have any interaction with somebody that makes you feel uneasy, just try to go it over in your head and try to find out if continuing a conversation with this person is worth anything. I hate that when somebody imposes their own will onto someone else's character. Yeah, that kind of leads into roleplay accounts. They're really, annoying to me when somebody takes, especially my persona, and turns them into a roleplay character on Twitter. I don't like that. The least they can do is, credit the artist, but even then, what really bothers me is just that people toss these away carelessly. Like I've seen these people over and over again. Like they have a character for a week or two and then go to the next one, and it's so tedious. I don't like it when people just use other people's characters like that. don't know why people want my root to top so badly. Well, it's the forbidden fruit, probably. That's the same energy as a fan telling George Lucas they know more about Star Wars than he does. Well, at this point, I'm not sure, but yeah. I'm not sure how much George Lucas still knows about Star Wars, but yeah, you're absolutely right. Oh, this one. Okay, I'll have to take another sip before I start with this one. Permission, not a commission. I'm going around asking various furry style artists if I could use their characters with their blessings in a fanfic I have in mind. This fanfic may give a little advertisement since I fully plan to give everyone the credit they deserve for their creations. You probably wouldn't have found about my fanfic, but I don't want to feel like I am sneaking behind your back. I'm not asking to have permanent rights over your creations, only the privilege of using them in my stories. Anytime they are used, I will make sure they make clear in bold letters with big font these belong to somebody else. Like every time you mentions them. I understand you are not doing commission and I am not asking you to draw a single thing. I just want your blessing to use these characters. P.S. This fanfic may not appear until years from now. I hope I received the go ahead from you, your choice, and hope you stay safe and healthy. Kareneth writes, I once had someone tell me I need to change my character because it looked like theirs, even though I had mine over 10 years before they made theirs, and I had just gotten my first suit that week. Wow, that's holy shit, that's a level of entitlement I've not seen before. Wow. Okay. Yeah, because like no two characters can look alike. Yeah, it's a rule, of course. So with this person, I figured, they're just gonna send out this message to dozens of other people, so I didn't bother reacting to it. What happened then was, like after 4 days, I got the same note again, and I was like, okay, you already sent this to me, and I didn't react. Shouldn't that tip you off that I don't want to be part of it? And so I was like, okay, I'm just gonna block that person because I have a short fuse when it comes to these people because I'm tired of all that. I don't want to deal with all that bullshit anymore. So, if somebody rubs me the wrong way, then they go on the block list. And then, of course, he creates a secondary account and he goes like, dude, what the fuck? I come asking for your blessings and you block me? You could have just said no. I would have used your freaking characters. I could have used your freaking characters behind your back, and you never would have even known. I will make this one last offer. I will pay you to just use the characters. I do not want to own them. Once again, I must stress that I could have totally used them behind your back, and you would have never known. I could still use them. Just switch around a few letters. I have to know, what is your problem? Yeah, I mean, what I like best about this whole thing is like, yeah, I could have gone behind your back, but look at me. I didn't do that. I'm such a nice person. I did ask you. Uh, so yeah, not much to say about this except I blocked them person as well, moved on, and that's it. Oh, right. Okay, this was from I think 2021? No, 2020. This was under a pride picture. Should have expected from the likes of you, Dream, using pride just to show off porn. Pride has a genuine meaning, but of course people use it to show off how big of sluts they are, wearing jocks that show off their cocks and asses to a bunch of strangers. Pride is about saying to everyone, hey, I'm gay and proud of it. Got a problem? Go fuck yourself. Not, hey, I have a big dick and a fine ass and I'm proud of it. Wanna fuck later. And this is something um I've come to experience, recently more and more, where people just start gatekeeping pride, which is just so strange and bizarre to me. Um, I mean, considering like what pride started out as, uh, and now people are just like, oh yeah, you don't do pride the right way, so you cannot be part of it. Yeah, what happened was I don't know if that person is the one who actually spearheaded this thing, but um, oh yeah, later Rex, what did you want to pull? That's a good question. The gatekeepers are the worst. Yeah, what happened was on E621, uh, somebody took it upon themselves to downvote, to mass downvote a pride picture that I've drawn. It wasn't even like a very sexual thing. It was just my bunny Rick in a puppy gear outfit and like in a fake magazine cover that was called Pride with like a bunch of like lewd captions and stuff like that. And it wasn't anything we hadn't seen before years and years ago. Like it's all these years ago when furry porn, first started. Like there've been Pride pictures for decades now. I think. Um, well, maybe not that long, but so they took issue with this one particular image for some reason, and they downvoted it and started like shit talking about it in the comments. And I was really baffled by this because again, this was just isolated to E621. Nowhere else was there that backlash against the picture. And later on, I found out that it was uh, led by I think one or two people that just took real issue with that, and they eventually ended up being blocked on E621 for being a a gay Republican brony that thought the 2020 election was stolen, and they were arguing about the 2020 election on E621 out of all places, and getting uh, into fights with mods and people of the staff that told them to calm down. And eventually, they just said, "Oh, fuck that! I don't care if you ban my account." And then they were permanently banned. I mean, again, it says so much about a person like that who will start a political discussion on a furry porn site out of all places. Had some furries trying to promote banning straight couples from Pride, even if one or both people were bisexual. It's crazy. What the fuck? Oh heck, I don't know. I don't really know how Twitch works, and I just clicked OK. Okay, that's fine. It's fine. Yeah, gatekeeping Pride is absolutely ridiculous. Pride is there for everybody. Kink is a part of Pride, and it will always be a part of Pride. And like everybody's welcome. If you're straight and you support Pride, then good on you. That's a great mindset. I understand that there people who have some issues with the way it's celebrated. I can totally understand that, but still, you should always respect people's rights to celebrate Pride in the way they like it. And yeah, I mean, just this sheer thought of sanitizing something that was meant to be as inclusive as possible is absolutely mind-boggling to me. Yeah, if you want to gatekeep Pride, then stay away from me. I guess I'm looking forward to Pride Month this year because uh, whenever I get a message like this, it just makes me, double down on it and go like, okay, if that pissed them off, what can I do to piss them off even more? Because that's just what I am motivated by at this point. I just want to be as like draw as openly gay, pride, sexual kink stuff as possible, just to piss these people off. All right, next one. All right, yeah, we got to start down at the bottom here. I noticed that war was on the list of maybe. Oh yeah, question relating to terms of service. That was it. It was on list of maybe. Are you able to elaborate? It basically means that if you have an idea that involves war, the chances are high that I will decline. But if I happen to like the idea personally, I might try it. It's put on a maybe, so no one can try to force me to draw something I don't want to draw. Oh, okay. Just wondering. Despite my interest, I have no plans on wanting that drawn anyways. Then why did you ask me that? I'm including this because this person has sent me a number of other notes like that, like inquiring about details of a YCH auctions or my terms of service and stuff like that, and always going like, "Oh, okay, that wasn't anything that I wanted to be part of anyway." Like a YCH going up, and it's like, "Oh yeah, it's way too much for me that I want to pay anyway." So yeah, sometimes these people can be really exhausting. Oh, this one is also a fun one. I'm a friend of blank, and I wanted to say what a beautiful job you did on the picture of the two of you together. I hope I get to meet you and perhaps do a bit of roleplay too, if you wish. And I said, thank you, I'm glad you liked it. I don't do roleplays though, sorry. So I said no, okay. And then his response was like, oh, that's too bad. You would have liked my persona. He's a Western ice dragon. He enjoys most of the time, blah, 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 blah. And it's just like, I already said no. Like, why would you go on explain your entire character's backstory if I already said no? So yeah, that was really weird. Send them to the wall of shame. They don't take my they don't take my suggestions anymore. I don't think they're good enough. Oh, this one. Okay, this one I mentioned earlier. Just a fan who's probably being rude. So keep that message in mind. Hi, sorry to bother you, but I wanted to say I really love your art, and if you weren't too busy, would you be willing to do an art trade with me? If it's okay if you're too busy, I just thought I'd ask. Keep up the great work and have a great day. So far, nothing wrong with it. Like, really a positive message, very kind. The grammar is okay as well. So it's fine. So I responded, hey there, thanks a lot for the kind words. I'm glad you like my art. But yeah, I'm really sorry, but I'm too busy to do an art trade again. To do an art trade. Sorry again. And the person replied with, no worries. I expect a cool artist like you to be super busy with commissions and junk. Thanks for your response, though. So I thought, okay, that was it, right? That was the end of the conversation. And then I got another message that turned this whole thing on its head. So I think a month later, March, yeah, March. So a month later, I got the exact same message from that same person. And it's like verbatim, it's the exact same message. And that just made it all crumble apart real fast because I realized this kind message was not typed out, and sent to me individually, but was just copy and pasted to anyone they could find. And that just destroyed the illusion of them actually being genuinely nice and just wanting to get a free picture out of it. So yeah, you can't trust anybody. That sometimes it feels like. No, I'm kidding, of course, but yeah, it's something you always need to be aware of, and it can get really exhausting because it creates this barrier between the artist or like the creative person and the community. Because normal furries, air quotes, normal furries, like regular furries that don't draw and just commission art, they don't get messages like that. If somebody messages you, with like a genuine endeavor to get to know you, they probably looked at your profile, they probably looked at your art and what you're into, and you get more intimate messages and not just copy and paste bullshit. And I sometimes envy that. I really do, because it has really had an impact on me where I am just wary whenever I get a note from somebody that I don't know. And it sucks because I want to be more open. I want to be more social with people, but I've really withdrawn and just talk to close friends anymore because I don't want to expose myself to all these people. Uh, yeah, and just in the same vein, hey, how are you? Do you have a Telegram or something we can talk on? I know my messages just seem a little random, but it's a little rude to ignore people. Um, that person was later banned. I didn't report them or anything, but I guess they have tried to do the same thing with other people. Um, if somebody is not responding to your note, just let it go. It happened to me. It happens to everybody. Just leave it the way it is. Yeah, I'm not sure why they were banned, but I'm sure it was not for. It was not uncalled for. Oh, this one. This one is also really old. Yeah, he sent last two messages within 1 minute. Again, like very patient individuals. So that again, a big red flag. Save me. Hello, I was wondering, I'm looking to start a new life, so do you need a partner, coworker, employee, pet, anything? I know it's kind of random, but I'm out of time. I see you name some 3D software. I can work on that. I was like, what? What? I still have no clue what this person tried to gain out of this, like, at all. Um, I guess they had money issues, but like randomly writing someone that you don't know is not the way to go at all. Yeah. I still wonder, I wonder what happened to that person, but oh well. Best not to think about it. This one is also, trying to uh, get free art again. Hello, I'm sorry if I disturb you with this question, but I really like your art. I know that you won't do it for me, but can I get a request? Sorry if I was being rude. Already trying it, with the pity angle, going like, I know you won't do it for me. Don't fall for that. Like, if somebody, wants a free request out of you and you offer free requests, they'll, go around differently. They will try to be courteous and respectful and not just try to, get something out of you by, you taking pity on them. Oh god. Oh god, we keep going deeper and deeper in the rabbit hole. I forgot about so many of these. Okay, so this message alone. Can I ask you something important? The way they talk are kind of childish. Yeah, I think some of them are really young too. So I've gotten a few of these messages over the years, and I've always wondered, why didn't you just ask me? Instead of asking if you can ask something, why don't you just go ahead and ask me? That would save us all a lot of time. Thank you, Nail. Yes, I will hydrate. So I think I've ignored that person for a while. And they kept sending me the same message. Eventually I caved in and I just wrote, just ask. And now, whatever you think what they were trying to ask me, I swear to you, you will not see this coming. Okay, I need to tell you, I have stitches in my mouth. Do you know any type of foods that are soft that I could eat other than pudding and jello, etc.? What? Why do you ask me? What do I know about that? My brain turns. It has to be a troll. No, I don't think it was a troll. I really don't. Because as I said, this person has sent me messages over and over again saying like, "Can I ask you something?" over months, and I don't know. Yeah, I stretched. Thanks, Nevis. Oh, this is one of the free request category. Maybe an inside joke. Yeah. One little question. I wonder, would you like drawing Bina Mongoose for me? Sadly, that among all Sonic characters, she's kind of underrated to the point that seeing pics featuring her, as well as Julie Sue, is getting rare these days. I doesn't really have to be. I doesn't really have to be a complete finished pic. I'll be pleased even by a nice sketch of her. Whether it's a clean, cute pic or with sexual shade in it or a complete naughty, that's all up to you. Any pose, situation, etc. The only requirement is that she must be wearing that original her outfit of black crop tank top and brown short shorts. Or actually, how about them being pink? Because that's how I love her, and there are not much of good looking pics of her wearing that. And of course, her being herself original character design, unless you want to add something from yourself or draw in your own interpretation. But in a way, she would still be recognizable. Anyway, let me know what you think. I mean, I've never drawn a Sonic character in the style of the Sonic characters. I've drawn Sonic once, and I've drawn like from the waist down a bunch of Sonic characters because the YCH winner requested them. Um, but yeah, again, this is just something they probably send out dozens of. I just always love how detailed they are in the weirdest way, and just they're very specific in what they want, and for some reason, like it has to be like that. There's no leeway or anything like that when it comes to their clothes and details like with the werewolves earlier. Uh, See, I always want to be on the other side of that, just observing that person and like seeing what they are like when they send these messages because I want to see what they think is going to happen, you know. Oh well. Okay, something nice for a change because I saw this in one of my folders and I felt it was really appropriate. It's just something uplifting. It's easy to mock someone's efforts. It's easy to take someone's work and say, this is bad and so are you. There are some people who only seem to be able to feel good about themselves by diminishing the work of others. It can make you want to give up, but having the courage to make something despite any flaws makes you stronger than the ones who would rather mock you. Because when you make mistakes, you learn from them, and that is the secret to getting better. Don't give up. This is from Danger Fox on Twitter. This is basically what I was talking about earlier. Yeah, if you ever face yourself with a situation where somebody is constantly mocking you or just like tearing down your work, just know that this person will never be in a position where like you are, and will never know what it's like to do something creative that you enjoy. And if it's a valid criticism, if they're not really um, expressing themselves in a way that is supportive, you don't have to give them the time of day. If somebody really wants you to get better, they will be courteous and respectful enough about it. All right. Oh, this one. This one was also such a mess. So I drew this Western style bartender, which in in my head can like he worked in a Western style bar, right? So he said, "What can I get you, partner?" And he has like a sheriff star tattooed on his chest. As it says, like as you and I came up with during the weekend, Avery, the nudist stallion bartender, just don't say tell any a horse walks into a bar jokes. He's heard them all. And now comes something of a response that I would have never expected. Don't tell me that's a Texan. I'm not mad. I'm not offended. I'm just letting you off with a warning if you say it is. We don't say howdy. We don't say partner anymore. We're not cowboys. That time has passed since 1890s. Just letting you know for next time. And then he wants tall cream from the tap from him, of course. So that person just immediately made an assumption about the picture that was in no way implied. And he gave me a warning about it, so we're off to a great start. Which is kind of hot though. Thank you. I think I could probably find this and show this because there's nothing explicit on it, but I'll hold off. Better not to tempt fate. But what happened afterwards was such such a shit show in many regards. Because that person then made an 180 degrees turn and was just suddenly sucking up to me in the nicest way possible, like complimenting my art and just like being extremely obnoxious about it. It later even went to the up to a point where he said I turned him into a furry, like my art had turned him into a furry, which is obviously not true. but this person was one to lash out at again against so many other people and then try to cozy up with them again and like get in on their good side again, to the point that I think I've told this before. They donated money to a British streamer, and it amounted to £1,200 to make him unban him or something, or to like say he was sorry about something. But that money was not his; it came out of his parents' account. And when they found out, they refunded it. And that streamer was left with nothing because, of course, you know, and stuff like that. And so what happened was, I had gone in circles with that person where I just had it at one point, and blocked him, but then he got into some trouble where he was basically exposed and canceled publicly and shamed. And I took pity on him because he was a 19-year-old kid from Texas that just didn't know any better. Like he was an asshole sometimes, but like he was not deserving to be ostracized by the entire internet. Well, not the entire internet, but you know what I mean. Um, so eventually I unbanned him, and what happened then was I posted a YCH auction, and I seen him like immediately post a bid to it, and like a relatively high bid. And then he would send, like a minute later, he would send me a note asking me to remove that bid for him. And I was like, dude, you can just delete your own comment on FA. You can just hide it. Why didn't you do that? But at that point, I was like, it was dawning upon me. It's like he is trying to buy a YCH auction from you, and he has effectively, even without wanting it, scammed that one streamer out of £1,200. So it was like, okay, I'm not dealing with this. I'm going to block him again. Um, Whoever replied to Tigerman could have at least say the horse looks so handsome. Well, thank you. So I blocked him at a moment's notice because like I'm not gonna risk losing this YCH because he doesn't know if he can spend the money or not. And then came this. Ed Tigerman tweets is an asshole. I'm just gonna say it. You are a fucking asshole. You blocked me for no fucking reason. You refuse to tell me like someone has a gun pointed to your head, saying not to tell me. You unblocked me out of pity. Maybe you should have blocked me at all. You expect me to know what I did wrong with no hints or even being told why. You have gotten me down to tears twice. You shouldn't have fucking blocked me at all. Because artists have some criticism? Did I fucking tell you to redraw the horse piece that said howdy? No, I didn't. I told you that I didn't like that one part, not destroy it all, and you do it again. Jesus Christ. I apologized afterwards. He did not apologize, by the way. But what did you? You blocked me. You blocked me to where I couldn't send the apology on FA. Are you an artist or a piece of trash? I seriously have no clue as you're fucking married. You aren't a nice person if you can't simply take a mistake off a fucking YCH bit. I didn't mean to make it, but it took you. But you took it too far. If you think I'm being a cunt to you, no, I'm telling you to wake the fuck up and talk to me about this because I'm tired of being the popular punching bag like you. Just beat me up until I can't fucking talk to you anymore. Fix your fucking life because even though I'm just one person speaking out against you, I'm sure there are plenty of others who support me. Yeah, back in 25. Yikes is the perfect response to that. Um, yeah, what can I say to that? I mean, sure, I felt a little bad about blocking him, but as I said, I did it because I didn't want him to make a bid that he couldn't hold up to my YCH auction. And like, make no mistake, this person has been guilty of oh shit, I forgot I forgot to censor him at the top, but his Twitter account is gone anyway, so you wouldn't find about that. I'm okay. I'm okay. I'm doing fine. Thanks, Glen Wolf. But yeah, this person like really he has been through a lot of stuff, but whenever you take pity on him, like he just comes back with something like this and just like again insults people all the time, or just tries to schmooze up to others, through backhanded ways. It's just a constant cycle. So yeah, what can you say about it? Thanks, also I appreciate it. Oh, this is also interesting. I said that was still from a time when I posted thanks for the watch whenever someone was watching me on various sites, because I thought it was a nice thing to thank people for. I don't do it anymore because I realized, yeah, it's kind of spam, but you know. So the person responded, I haven't put up the info on my profile yet, but I despise it when people send worthless thanks for watches. Instead, browse my content. Maybe watch back if it interests you. I didn't do much with a thanks. And this is very assuming of other people immediately, because I know when I was starting out, I was extremely thankful for people watching me, and I thought it was a great, uh, well, uplifting feeling, when somebody thought I was worth, of them watching me. So I wrote thanks for the watch. I always hand wrote it, at least in the beginning. Yeah, now that I remember it, and now I did end up copy and pasting it, but yeah. So I did it for a while because I just thought it was something nice, But I understand that not everybody likes that, but well, you shouldn't be like so condescending about it. Um, I eventually stopped actually because it was attracting too many weirdos. Because as I mentioned earlier with the parasocial thing, even that thanks for the watch led some people to believe that we had an interaction, and it was okay for them to message me about like having stitches in their mouth like we saw earlier. So people would just contact me about random stuff, and as if we were friends. And so I was like, okay, I'm just not gonna put myself out like that anymore. I'm not gonna give them any reason to send me a message if I stay away from saying things for the watch. But I still really appreciate anybody, following me, supporting me in any fashion. Um, I know a lot of people say this, and it's hard to make it sound genuine. Uh, like just got a new follower by Fimbul Vetcher. I hope I didn't butcher the pronunciation. Um, but I really do appreciate it, and I wish I could show it in a way that everybody feels noticed and stuff like that. But it's just there are not enough hours in the day, So um, yeah, I think it's okay if you thank people for watching your thing or favoriting and stuff like that. Especially when you're starting out, it means a lot more because you haven't gotten used to it quite so much. So I wouldn't put people down, that say that like that. Oh fuck. Oh shit. Okay, let me just. I hope. Fuck. I forgot to censor that. Oh no. That's gonna be on the recording. I'll have to edit that out of the recording when I upload it to YouTube. Okay, let me just put the game capture on real quick, and let me censor that because I wanna. Shit. I wanna uh show that on stream without showing the name. Uh, Let me just auto. Does it show? Does it show Photoshop now? It shouldn't. Does it show it when I open a new image? It shouldn't. I hope it doesn't. Okay. Sorry. Figured I had oh, you can just disable it, never mind. Okay. So this was one of the latest to make it into this list. All right, and we're back. Furry artists who are total assholes. Tag him in tweets. I'm sorry I commissioned anything from this fucker. I hope he fucking dies. That was my first death threat that I've ever received. And of course, there's also a lot of backstory to this. I'm gonna try to protect the identity of the person that was involved here, um, because by now they've deleted the tweet, but I still felt this was worth screen capping. What happened was that person and we had gotten along okay, and we've kind of like started chatting. And at some point, I was like, "Hey, you've been supporting me for a while on Patreon and other sites. Um, maybe I can draw something for you, you know, in return." And so we started discussing some ideas, but it didn't really amount to anything solid so far. And then, like weeks later, I wanted to come back to that, and I found out that the person had deleted the entire conversation, like everything. I was like, okay, what happened here? Why did you delete it? And he said that he had been very depressed, and that's why he deleted all that. I don't know how that was connected, but it's fine. Anyway, skip forward where all of a sudden that person was making these tweets about how a certain furry artist is full of himself and only does commissions and doesn't do the picture he promised. um and I was like, yeah, okay, well, you deleted the entire conversation. How should I find out what you wanted me to draw if there's no trace of it anymore left? And then also, like, in the meantime, he had basically unfollowed me on every platform and stopped his Patreon pledge. I was like, okay, I'm sorry if I did something to offend you. I don't know what I did, but please tell me. And then he was making excuses, going, no, that was actually about other people, and I didn't mean you at all. And it's like, yeah, but why did you unfollow me everywhere? Oh well, and it kind of went like back and forth where I eventually told him that, if he is avoiding me and he's not talking to me clearly, then what does he want me to do, right? And then he was all mopey and depressed about how it's all his fault and how I would hate him now, and how he would even go too far, that far that he wants to hurt himself. And at that point, I would just really jump in and was like, dude, if you really think about hurting yourself, get some help. Like, you need some help. Absolutely. Please get some help. Please promise me that you get some help. And then the next day it was all fine. I was like, it's all good. And then, like, he was again back to normal. And then I continued uh, for more time, where he was just like very depressed, lashing out against me and others, then back to normal, and eventually I just had it. I was like, okay, I'm done. He told me at some point, like, hey, you can look at my stuff if you ever find the time. And then he asked me to unfollow him because apparently I didn't care about him. And I was like, okay, fuck you. I'm just not gonna bother with that anymore. Like, he had been stringing me along for weeks at that point. I was always the punching bag for him. And so I was like, okay, I'm gonna block you. And this was the response. So yeah, I'm not gonna unblock you anymore. This is a nice reminder. Okay, good. Let's get back to something fun again. I realize the last ones are more lighthearted. Thankfully, this was the darkest so far. So, if you know the website Ink Bunny, they have a feature that I wish FA had as well. Yeah, Neas, you're right. I agree with you. Uh, Ink Bunny has a feature that allows you to suggest keywords. So if somebody doesn't tag their pictures, you can suggest them on your own. and then the artist can just like click apply all, and then their work is tagged. So basically, like E621 works, except you can do it on your own stuff. So recently, I logged into Ink Bunny and I saw an old picture of mine had gotten keyword suggestions over 50. So this is the picture, censor it. It has very basic text, and then somebody. Oh yeah, let's just zoom in so we cannot see the name anymore. Somebody just added all these tags like a shirt and boxer briefs, a shirt and boxer, undershirt and boxer briefs, undershirt and boxers, undershirt and undies, undershirt and underwear, undershirt and underpants. And it just keeps going and going and going and going and going. And it's like, why? Why that one thing? And then on that person's need to censor that char too. On that person's profile, it says like this journal is for this person. I promise never ever put any more keywords to his unaware submissions ever again. Will you please unblock me on DeviantArt and unban me from Ink Bunny? Yeah. I have no idea why somebody has the time to add so many tags to one picture. And it obviously hasn't been. I'm not the only one he has done that to. Okay. This one is also really funny. This is very old at this point, but yeah, I once got a random note. Oh, thanks, Alias. Uh, from a person I didn't know, and it said, "I got this vest the other day." Oh, stretch. Thank you. And so I had no idea what to make of it. On their profile was a picture of them, well, like of their back with like a leather vest, and so I responded like, what?" And it said the pic is on my front page, and I didn't. I think I responded in a comment going like, "Okay, I'm not sure why you messaged me." And then a day later, that comment was removed, and I found out later that he had actually contacted the FA admins to have that comment of mine removed. That was just asking, what that had to do with me. And then I got another message from the same person. It says, "A moment's pause. I'm in the middle of something. By the end of today, all my favorite artwork will be returned to their permanent owners. My HDD ripped wide open, my IP belonging to them, you included if you want, and the single insignificant pic I posted slammed out of Fur Affinity's database with a sledgehammer going through my own computer. Welcome to Fur Affinity website of artistry, not fucking Facebook. Doesn't matter that I don't use Facebook anyway. Give the word of respect and this whole deal will begin." What? I can see that there are words strung together that form sentences, but I cannot understand what you're trying to tell me. So I am confusion. It's just what? Yeah. Oh, this one. This one is also good. Um, you may some of you may have seen a note like this because that was also sent out by the dozens. So, personality of Coach Knight. Hello, Mr. Dreamer Nightmare. I am blank, and I am complete fan of your characters, especially Coach Knight. He's very interesting and quite different from other characters I've seen here. Please keep developing such nice and colorful characters. You can already see like how this is a copy and paste message because like he doesn't really go into any details. He says he's quite very interesting and quite different, but how so? Would you mind if I asked you a question? How would Coach react if suddenly he became giant, or maybe if he found on his home really tiny people, 2 to 3 inches, asking for help? Would he be gentle or dominant? Would he watch his step and avoid hurting little people, or walk among them without a care? I would love if you could answer those questions. Apologies if I bothered you. Please keep inspiring such a good art. I really enjoyed and I admired your style. It is really different and special. Lots of personality. Best regards. It's like you know, there are people who like the same things you like. Why do you go bother random people about this stuff? Like, just go, you know, ask people who draw macro, micro, or who are into that about this. It's such a weird thing to do. Just like send random messages out to people and ask this. Uh, and this is not the only the only message of this I've gotten. I've gotten several over the years, but I deleted them, I think. And this one, oh, this one is one of my favorites because this was basically this was still from when Twitter cropped images, but basically the head of night is there, and this is as low as the picture goes. There's nothing anymore, and this is my favorite comment that I've ever gotten because it's the dumbest one, and it just says, "Where is his feet?" And I also noticed I forgot to censor the person. Yeah, and it's like, doesn't that person know the concept of pictures, you know, extending farther than you can see, like, or like anatomy extending farther than you can see? Like, do they think he just doesn't have, you know, feet? uh I will have to censor all these in post production, but that's fine. And yeah, let's end with that because this is definitely also up there with one of the funniest comments I've gotten so far. You have killed God. Yeah, sure. Like, forget like wars, famine, you know, world hunger, poverty, you know, natural catastrophes. But yeah, this one furry picture. This is the one that has killed God. I will reply back, click on the image and find out. Yeah, I usually steer away from people like that. Oh well. And that was it. We've gotten through all of that. I've also gotten a comment on rule34.xxx where they said about one of my characters, why does he look like Markiplier? And it was really funny. Ooh, I can't believe we made it through all that. Holy shit. That's insane. Yeah, so this was a glimpse at what I had to deal with all these years and what I will probably have to deal with more in the coming years, but I am certainly more educated about how to deal with these people than I was, you know, all this time ago. And yeah, I'll just open up this one again because I think it's very uplifting. It's fine. The thing is, if that's the worst, like really, that is, you know, what the bottom of the barrel is for the furry fandom. We're actually in a really good place because you have to keep in mind that most of these people were, you know, still nice about the things they wanted. Of course, some weren't, but you know, it wasn't as bad as, you know, YouTube comments or like gaming communities where, you know, the death threat and the kill yourself is just such a common thing to blur it out at random at people that you don't like. There's just no standard for, you know, civility anymore. And I think in that regard, if you look at the furry fandom, it's still a very good community because even the weirdos are still pretty bearable, you know, if you know your way around. I should totally have the Markiplier one. I remember seeing the comment one time. It was kind of weird how he was right. I can't show that because it's a porn picture. I don't have it censored. Yeah, it's the thing is, these are a fraction of the comments I deal with. Like 90% of the comments are extremely supportive and extremely positive. And of course, you obviously kind of laser focus on the negative ones because those are the standout ones. But I cannot stress enough how supportive the furry fandom has been, for me, for the people close to me. And I think that this is still one of the best communities to be a part of, and I can deal with all that because I know that the majority of furries are really, really great. And yeah, so it doesn't matter too much to me. It doesn't bother me. But yeah, so this is what I wanted to talk about in this stream, and we managed to fill over 2 hours here. If they are weirded out about it, why don't they just keep quiet? But I do, but those aren't. Oh, okay. I know I do, but those who don't just creates toxicity. Yeah, I wish more people would like. This is a thing that you kind of raised that is a problem in on the internet in general, or like with people in general, is the lack of empathy. To kind of step back for a moment and then think about how that other person might feel, or how you would feel if you received a message like that. And it's just especially on places like Twitter and YouTube, people don't think about that anymore. It's just they feel they can just say anything without consequence, and they just roll with it. um, if you don't have something nice to say, don't say anything. It's kind of a statement that I don't fully support. I think the sentiment is correct. I just think that if you have something critical to say, try to say it in a nice way. So, because oftentimes people use the statement as like a blanket excuse to shield against any sort of criticism. So I think that if you have something to say that is not nice, you can at least be nice about it, and you can let the other person know that you don't mean to insult them. The bad comments are not fun in the fandom, but it's super rough being in a creative writing class and the professor has nothing nice to say about your stories, and you're not allowed to say anything back since the professor controls your grade. Yeah, that's a problem with every teacher, though. But when it comes to writing, especially, it's a it's a tough toll. It's a tough position to be in because a lot of writers feel ignored by either the community they're in, like the furry fandom, or just the general public at large. And I understand that because reading just takes time, and especially reading on the internet is easy to read a tweet. It's not easy to read a fully fledged story. And so when you get a negative comment and it's the only comment you receive, that can just really, really wear on you. And I understand that. And especially with like when you're doing something like creative writing class, um, you kind of just have to find this place uh, in your mind that is unreachable for these people, because if you write something just for yourself that nobody can criticize, that nobody, I mean, that people can criticize, but you're not gonna let the criticism stand because it's just you. It's 100% for you. Then you can find joy in your own work, and then it doesn't matter, if you have to write something that is pleasing the teacher that is controlling your grade, because you know that in your free time you can write this story, or whatever it is you're writing, just for yourself, and you don't have to limit yourself in any fashion. And I think that's something that you should always embrace, is just like be yourself in this creative aspect that you own, basically. Nalius says, what advice would you give to a new artist that's getting these kinds of callous comments, who might not know how to deal with these people? Are there any tips or tricks for building up a defense to this kind of harassment? Um, the advice I would give is to, how do I say this? To just to always think about what kind of person it is that is saying these things, and to look into their own personality and find out more about them through like their online profiles. And oftentimes you can diffuse this kind of like comment if you notice that this person is only blurting out negative things and insulting things, because then they lose their bite as like, oh, they're just insulting everything they see. Like that's not scary, that's not in any fashion what I should take seriously. Yeah, basically don't take comments like that seriously, and always know that you are creating something for yourself and nobody can take that away from you. And I'm interested in creating an AI algorithm to moderate comments on for fandom websites. Yeah, sadly, that's harder said, easier said than done. That's kind of my question. I'm also thinking of doing furry art. That's nice. Yeah, as I said, like when I started out, I was just drawing the stuff that I wanted to see because nobody else was drawing these. And I've tried to retain this sort of mentality over the years to where I still draw for myself whenever I'm feeling down and whenever I feel like I need something, just to lift my spirits. And I think that this is a good mindset to have when you're starting out as well. It's just like think about what would make you happy to be seen as a picture. What would make you happy to see yourself as, your persona as. And oh yeah, this one's also really cute. I really like that one. Um, this was for a parody of a children's book written by the wife of Mike Pence, Trump's vice president, because they have a bunny called Marlon Bando, and they released like the wife of Mike Pence released a book with the daughter released a book and the wife illustrated the book, and John Oliver made a piece about it. And because like Mike Pence is so anti-gay, they just made their own version. They made their own children's book where the bunny of Mike Pence meets another boy bunny and they fall in love. And it's a really cute story. I actually own the book. It's a really good children's book too. And just to piss off the hardliner, you that is against any sort of like homosexuality. Yes, um, they made this really cute story. And even here I got comments where it's hidden now, where somebody said like, oh, you shouldn't have done this. What if Mike Pence actually sues FA over this and then FA gets taken down? It's like, are you kidding me? Like, you really are scared by these people? uh but yeah, like that's a good mindset to have. Don't be scared, embrace your own creativity, and do not stop for any other reason other than you're tired, I guess. Yeah, any other questions while we're here? I notice my gallery is so much emptier without all the porn. Let's see what else I can maybe open up. It's kind of nice to look at. All right, this one. That was one of my most elaborate works to date. Heavily inspired by From Software's Bloodborne. So that was a real departure from my style. And this is like, as I said, this is all me. So nobody who criticized me for drawing muscular, beefy daddy types over and over again would ever gotten me to the point where I draw this because of their criticism. I drew this on my own devices because I wanted to see if I could achieve that. And I did. And I think that's the best motivation you can have, is just, if you go like, can I make this work? So yeah, like if you start out, just draw whatever you want and be yourself. And especially when you are still unknown, you can get away with so much stuff because, well, a lot of people think of it as a negative way when they say nobody cares about what you do. I would find comfort in that because it means that usually nobody will criticize you for it. With me, with the number of followers I have to weigh against what I do, and especially for instance what I say on Twitter. I really have to be careful because sometimes it can be taken out of context, and people will just jump onto that chance. I mean, for those of you who've been watching this stream where I put together this like rating board of like the characters I rated, you've seen me uploading this on Twitter live, and then like 2 minutes later, people were already um, calling me out for including tales from Sonic, even though I always specify that these. In my mind, I imagine them as adults and consenting and sentient and not a minor or anything like that in any way. But immediately people were jumping on that. So yeah, when you're starting out, you can just try out all sorts of stuff and really be yourself, and then gain confidence in what you do. All right. Any more questions? Anything art related that you would like to know, or anything else? Because if not, then I think we're pretty much done for this stream. Um, I want to thank all of you who have joined. It's quite a lot of viewers. I didn't expect this at all. I hope you guys. It's fine. If you can't think of anything else, it's fine. I hope you guys, learned something from this. I hope this was, useful, and I hope that some of the things I said made sense. I hope you could laugh and groan and cringe at some of the comments that we've seen. Um, was a good way of starting as an artist. Just start. Literally, it's just picking up a pencil and trying your best, and taking it all from there. Just like looking up tutorials. Um, I mean, I talked about this basically in the first stream. You can find the recording on YouTube. Um, where can these fine people find you on YouTube? Oh yeah, we can definitely post a link there. Let me just. I don't want to expose my YouTube to the stream right now. I'll post the link in the chat. Otherwise, you'll see what kind of depraved stuff I watch on YouTube. Oh, there we go. So yeah, you'll find the recordings of the stream on there once I've downloaded it, and cleaned it up a little bit, and yeah, stuff like that. Yeah. Otherwise, I think that's it for tonight. Something that I wanted to announce, real quick before I finish, is I will be streaming tomorrow as well, because tomorrow is May the 4th, and in celebration of Star Wars Day, I decided to show you guys one of my favorite game series from that universe. Thanks, Nelius. And I wanted to take you down memory lane to demonstrate the Jedi Knight series on stream. May the horse be with you. That's good. So I've already, if you look at my Steam profile, I've got them all set up. I spent the day, getting them all polished and working for the stream. So we'll go through them one by one. I won't play them through in their entirety. That would be way too much. But yeah, it'll be fun to sort of show some things and talk about how these games have basically made me a Star Wars fan before I even seen the movies. All right, so yeah, if you want to stay for that tomorrow, will be the same time. Yeah, same time I think. We'll get started, and then hopefully during the weekend we'll have another Star Wars stream where Azure and I can show off some other Star Wars games and play them together. We'll see about that. But yeah, so far that's it from me. Again, thank you all for watching, for listening, and also commenting and asking questions. And I'll see you all on the next stream, and I hope you guys stay safe and stay healthy. And yeah, till next time. Bye bye.